That's why I don't look at the polls. Not a joke. Because it's going to go up and it's going to go down, it's going to go up. And hopefully at the end of the day, I'll be able to deliver on what I said I would do. One, bringing the country together on a few and very important things like on infrastructure. Getting us in a position where we can have some coherent policy relative to foreign policy where there's agreement. Moving us in a position where we're able to actually generate
revolution,
kind of change in the dynamic of how we grow the economy. Not eliminate the super wealthy, not at all, but allow the working class and the middle class to be able to build out and up. And that can be done. And like I said, every time I hear, and I drive my staff crazy, every time I hear this is going to cost A, B, C, D, the truth is, based on the commitment that I made, it's going to cost nothing because we're going to raise the revenue to pay for the things we're talking about. And we're going to give, and right now, if you take a look at the reconciliation piece, $1 trillion of that is the tax cuts. Not raising anybody's taxes, it's tax cuts. People paying less taxes.
I used it to cut fruit, and so it's not opening smooth.
It's put people in situations where
I also used it to carve some wood out from my desk to get something to fit.
Just give people a little breathing room.
It has these like
little breathing room.
grips.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. President, how come you've never been to the border, Mr. President?
The wire cutter. The wire cutter, and I like the teeth. Like it lines up. It lines up. Kind of an ergonomic grip. So now that it's opened up like this, you could access these tools. So I just kind of pull them all out at once because they're a bit hard to pull out. I think you're supposed to do it all at once like that and just select which one you want. I've been using this one a lot. This is a opener, a box opener, just cutting tape. I actually use this a lot more than I thought I would use it. On the other side, I was also using a lot to build my computer with the computer screws. This I think it's a 1 and a 2 combined in one. So Phillips head number 1 and Phillips head number 2. Number 3 is more like thicker like that. I don't think it fits so much with number 3. I'm not so sure though. But yeah, so far I was able to use this one with the very, very tiny screws as part of my computer case. I used only this tool actually to build my computer. I used this right here to unscrew some of the SSD card bolt. Mine had a SSD card bolt, and then a screw went into the bolt. And it seems like a lot of people were damaging that motherboard. I was buying used ones on Amazon. By the way, I bought this Leatherman at Costco's. It was on a tray that had maybe 5, 6, 7. I had about 7 more left of these there in the tray, and the price was marked all the way down to $26. Initially, when I first saw these out there, it was $47, which is the typical price for this tool. And so when I saw it for 26, I was like, I don't even want to think about it. I'm just gonna buy it. Just gonna buy it. Um, I think this is a lanyard hole right here to put your own lanyard, little string or something like that, attach it to it. So yeah, I like this screwdriver. I use it a lot. Um, I haven't used this one at all. Um, yeah, this was the second tool that I used a lot for building my computer. And a little bit of the the wrench part. So the larger handles fits into your palm. The thinner one is just easier to move around. I kind of get why they put the little the grooves into it. Maybe something like that. So yeah, this head aligns very nicely, and so I am not too afraid of gripping a small tiny bolt that's part of a computer, and gripping it with a good amount of grip, just enough so I could turn it without fear of stripping it too much. I think still maybe the iFixit tools would be better. And so yeah, this has a wire cutter right there. And it has the cutters. So what else? This side, the other tools on this side. I was noticing the next thing I noticed today, which is something I might use more frequently, is I actually use this. I use this to determine the size of the bead for the thermal paste for the CPU. It said to apply a 1/4 inch bead of thermal paste. So this is about an inch or so, inch and a half. So I put this on the CPU and just kind of eyeballed it. And and so yeah, there's millimeter markings right here too. Pretty nice. And so I was just noticing this bastard file. It's called the bastard file. So that's a really important tool if you want to keep your equipment sharp. So you're using like gardening equipment or like an axe or like maybe some kind of scissors, cutting scissors, and you need to sharpen it up. You use it vigorously, rigorously. So this is a bastard file, so you just kind of go one direction, and it could really, with this type of bastard file, you could really sharpen an axe. Very very sharp, razor, not razor sharp, but you could get it back to workability. So you could get out there and start hacking away, and it's sharp enough to do it. To really finish it off, you would probably need a sharpening stone, but this would just kind of get you a cutting edge again. So so yeah, I was noticing this file. This is called the bastard file. So yeah, this side has let me zoom in. There it is. I guess that's a small, tiny flathead screwdriver. So the other thing I was just noticing, which is what I would also use often, which is a can opener. Um, so this is the can opener right here. There's also a few more other functions that were surprises to me. I feel a little bit reluctant to point those out. It's kind of nice surprise, but maybe I'll just kind of show it anyways. So if you want to stop the video, you could do that, I guess. Um, but yeah, this one, I think this one is actually the wire cutter right here. I think this is actually the like using it for like cutting thicker wire, like the solid copper wire that you get. It would probably cut better in a rounder because this is like a sharp edge right there. I was using that to kind of strip wire though, but I just remembered when I noticed this right here that this one is actually for specifically for our stripping the insulation off of it's for it's for stripping the insulation off of wire. Um, so yeah, this is the can opener. I was looking at it. It looks very nicely formed. The metal looks very strong. It looks like it's forged. So it has stronger than just like stamped out of something. It's probably like hammered. They got a piece of metal and they put it in this forging hammer. It just pounds whatever piece into its shape. um, I'm not sure really exactly how that works. They probably forged it and then stamped it out of the forge. So like they pound a piece of metal a lot and then they'll stamp a piece out of it. It was very strong. So also in terms of talking about strength, this Leatherman came in a 2-pack. It came with a small little mini scissors kind of thing, scissors, and it was a few more other a file, nail file, scissors, and a flathead screwdriver. And um, I didn't like that one. It's very small. It's about this size or so, and it like just the metal, the thickness of the metal. It seems too thin because it was part of the frame of that one. The mini tool was a little bit. It got bent. Um. So yeah, this is. I guess I'll show you the special additional like the little trick up its sleeve that it has, which is really cool actually. And so this is the part of the video that I'm going to show. Maybe it's kind of cool to discover it on your own, but I'm going to go ahead and show it. Um, so yeah, oh yeah, also too, like right there, it's like you push it in to help you get it out a little more. So yeah, in terms of using screwdriver, um, uh, for building my computer, so like I'm going to close this back up. Closing it back up, I was initially using it like this, and so, but there were certain areas of the motherboard that were a bit tighter to get to. So maybe I would use like a much smaller screwdriver, like something very, very thin, or a regular screwdriver like this. It's way easier. But this one right here, I was only using this tool, and I didn't feel like going down. I didn't like, I don't know, going downstairs and going into the garage, and my parents are there. It's a lot of steps, and so it's kind of stressful for me to encounter all those steps. So I just I, I initially I did it this way. So I opened up one of the arms right here, and then I was using it like this, and I noticed how so this part is straight, and this right here is off axis a little bit. So I was thinking like if I encounter like a screw that's really tight in there, that's where this orientation. I think this orientation would be much better to give you a little bit more leverage. Um, but in terms of fitting into uh, um, a, a, a narrow space, this one was working better because this one is all on the same linear axis. So where you're turning right here is on the same line as the bolt. So if you want to add a little bit more torque to it, you could like push right there in that area, and it would increase the amount of force that you could put onto the bolt compared to like it being on the line. So I noticed how they bent this part of the handle right here. How so yeah, in terms of it being on the same line, um, see a ruler. So it's pretty much, on the same line. Right there, it's off axis. So yeah, turning it from here just at the very tip, like this, was able to fit into the tighter spaces in the computer case. And just this right here, how it's a little bit offset, has a little bit of a bend right there. It was kind of nice. It really, it was easy to really turn it. And when I'm tightening screws, small tiny screws like that, I don't like to really put my wrist into it. I was putting just my finger power, as much force as my fingers could exert. I was using that as kind of a measurement for how much torque I wanted to put onto the screws, because those are being screwed into the motherboard. So yeah, I was using this a lot. And so this was good for the size 2 and the size 1 Phillips head. So that was really cool. It looked kind of like a weird shape, but it ended up, I guess, I don't know how they did that. Um, so yeah, um, guess that's about it with this tool. Another kind of a use that I thought that I could get out of it might be something similar to stainless steel soap. And so it looks like a bar of soap, except it's made out of stainless steel. And basically the concept with that is that you just rub it, you wash your hands underwater, you rub it, and some of the ions, they come off the stainless steel, and those ions are what does the um, uh, cleaning. They basically, it's like bleach. Bleach like grabs onto stuff, and you could suck it out, or I don't know. Well, I don't know how to describe it or example to give. But yeah, I was thinking about this as I could use this as a soap. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, stainless steel does remain fairly sanitary. So yeah, I was using this part, the knife, um, um, for cutting fruits and stuff, and just like not even worrying about keeping it clean or anything like that. Just using it like normally, like I would, like using it, kind of using it, using it, kind of using it, without babying it. So that's another thing, is that when finding deals on stuff like this, getting it for $26 versus spending $50 on it, I think it really aids in that mentality of really using it, rather than kind of being a little bit reluctant to use it, and maybe in time you kind of build up to using it more. But yeah, right off the bat, it's kind of like $26, pretty good deal. That was the price that Costco's, I got it at Costco's. That was the price that Costco's had on there, and mostly it was the price that they put there to sell these ASAP. And so there was just a few more left in the box. Um and and so they just they usually do that. It probably wasn't selling actually. That's another thing, is that I bought this. I noticed that the Costco's down in the part of town where it's not as nice as the nicer part of town. I went to that Costco's. I go both Costco's. I go to a lot of different Costco's actually, and I kind of do treasure hunts, I guess. and more so kind of in this kind of sense of looking out. And it kind of for me, I through my own experience, becoming aware of prices, like the very, very low prices. I think for me that took for me that was something that took for me to go there all the time. And I'm talking about like 3 days a week, uh uncomfortably going there, uncomfortably so. And so maybe going to a different Costco's another day is not so bad. um, so yeah, I got this for a really good deal. Um, uh, so yeah, that's it. That's this review for this Leatherman Revolution, I guess is the abbreviation. Um, Leatherman. They should call one Leather Woman. I don't know. I was just thinking of a song. It was an old familiar song that I used to listen to, and I had no idea the story that it was singing until I listened to it through a different sound system. And so very much being able to hear the details, the very subtle noises that are part of the song, the sounds that you hear as coming out of the speaker, all of that is very, very clear. And so yeah, that's my speaker stuff. I did spend a lot of money on my speaker stuff. So I like to look at it, just kind of like all these things are weird. And and so yeah, the shape of it is weird. This thinner side, the thicker side, and um, and so yeah, that's off axis. So like so you want to like you have this big, thick, really thick flathead screw right here. This is a number 3. This is a number 3. So this kind of screw is the bigger, more robust screws. And for that kind of screw, I think that using it in this configuration would help you put more leverage onto the screw. So right here on axis, it's almost like you have it on axis, but then you put like a wrench on the end right here and use the wrench to turn. Like I don't know, this one doesn't have it. Some screwdrivers I have, they have like a little area right here where you could put a wrench on it, and then so you could put some leverage on it to help you turn it. So that's kind of the idea with this right here. On axis, um, and then off axis or off the line. And so yeah, right here. But you get leverage right here down below where you kind of turn it. But I think this side right here, this orientation, it really lets you kind of like really torque it out if you need to, or really torque something in. I'm not so sure about applying so much force to this when considering that the smaller one I had, the metal became deformed. I forgot where I had it in my backpack, and the frame of it was, I noticed it was a little bit bent, or it looked a little bit out of shape, and so I was trying to see if I could bend it back just by squeezing it, and I was able to do that just a little bit, and I didn't want to do it too much. And so yeah, that one ended up finding its home in my medicine cabinet for cutting like bandages and stuff. It was in my backpack initially. This one is now the one that's on my backpack. And so yeah, I think this one is my everyday carry tool. I don't really like the idea of everyday carry knife. That just like the knife aspect of it. I don't like having a weapon on me. Just looking at statistics, when buying a firearm, learning about like firearm safety, and learning about when in the time in the encounter where you find a criminal in your house, in those kind of situations, it's actually more commonplace for people to kind of really freak out. And even though you had a lot of training, it's a very different situation. I think only really going to like boot camp and really being exposed to like 130 decibel explosions, and just like having live fire happening as they're running and doing the boot camp kind of thing. And then I don't know, people are like, maybe the boot camp instructor is carrying a live grenade, and so like there's a certain degree of it's different. It's like your heart is racing. You're in situations where you're being pushed to your limit every single day, and you wake up in adrenaline, and you go through that kind of training. It conditions you to handle stress. And so in general, people that want to go purchase a firearm, um, the statistic was that 70% of people that use a firearm in self-defense in their home have their firearm taken away from them. um, so they lose possession of their weapon. It's not so much that they have it taken away from them; they lose possession of it. You freeze, and then it's like you don't know what to do. The guy seems to not really want to hurt you, or he just wants to steal stuff, and maybe he's saying really terrible things that makes you want to, kill him, and it makes you maybe confused as to like what to do. And maybe he's like teasing you. There's a little bit of child's play to it. Child's play, my dear Watson, child's play. And so I don't know what to say. Statistically, I see that having a weapon on me for the sole purpose of having a weapon, even though the mentality is like it's a knife that has multiple uses, this has a knife, and like this has been good enough for me. This is all really, even I feel it's a little bit dangerous, a little bit too sharp. But I like how it has the kind of the tanto drop point right there, um, a very very sharp point, and I think I will run it underwater. I'm not so sure if I could put this in the dishwasher with Swiss Army knives. They you can't put them in the dishwasher. I mean, you probably could, but not with dishwashing detergent. That stuff just kind of it messes it up. And so I don't know if this would is dishwasher safe. I would imagine it's dishwasher safe. It's all 100% stainless steel. But like all the things that I have that are stainless steel, they don't really recommend dishwasher. They recommend primarily washing it by hand. So maybe I'll like soak it in some soap, let the soap kind of break up whatever's gunked up in there, and then it'll start opening and closing without so much resistance. Because right now it's so much resistance to open it and close it. I just thought of something. If I need to uh, do some surgery, cut a hole, a small tiny hallway to help someone breathe. That maybe they got stabbed, or maybe they got shot or something like that, and then so they might be building up pressure in their lung cavity, and so like you could use you would want like put an incision, a really incision through, and so like I don't know, I just see this final tip of it. It's a much smaller. It makes it feel like mini. That's what I've been noticing about it. Is like this looks like a big knife, but the end right here it feels so small. It feels so tiny in scope to like how big it is. And but yeah, I could see the the use of that, the potential of using it for like very delicate cuts. So yeah. Uh, this is the Leatherman Revolution, I think. I like it. Looks like it's a revolutionary design, and so yeah, Leatherman. This is my first Leatherman. I remember when I first saw a Leatherman. It was when I used to go with my dad. I was very young, maybe about 7 years old. I used to accompany my dad and my uncles to TRW swap meet in Sepulveda, and so it was every end of the month. And so this one guy sold a whole bunch of knives. He was selling these like nice convertible, these multi tools, this wrench. And I remember noticing how expensive it was. It was like $100 for one or something like that. It was pretty expensive. I always kind of was intrigued by it. I always like looked at it. And so yeah, one time my dad, he I guess he allowed me to go buy the knife. He gave me $20 and he allowed me to go buy the knife that I wanted. And so I went over there as responsible, and I think I was like about 12 years old. And I bought the knife and I brought it back, and my dad let me hold on to it. And so yeah, that was a very very long time ago. And so yeah, that was the first time I ever seen a Leatherman. And actually, I kind of vaguely remember hearing them talk about the sales. It's so expensive. Is that ever on sale? Like, yeah, sometimes really good sale. And so, like, I got a really good sale at Costco's, the blowout sales, where it's $27 off of the $47 starting price. So I've bought a lot of things at Costco's in this way. Another thing that I bought that I really like is my penny longboard. And so penny, it has like a curve. It has like a bow shaped into the longboard. And so what that does is, like, if anyone is familiar with skateboarding, skateboarding on like asphalt or like on sidewalk where there's a lot of bumps, it could really be jarring. The vibrations could really like vibrate your feet to death. And so that skateboard, that longboard, it has this it's like a shock, like a shock absorber. And so it's very smooth. It's very smooth on the feet. And so, yeah, I got that one when it first came out. I think it was like 105 or something, 104. And it was like just three more left. And it was the colors I kind of did, but I was just, oh, purple, whatever. I'm just going to get the purple one. I want the purple one. Just get the crazy color. So, yeah, I got that one when there was three more left. And it was marked down to, I think it was like $68. Or like $67 is what I paid for it. Um, was it 68 or like 47? I think I paid 68 or 47. I'm thinking 47. So I think I paid like 68 for it or something like that. It was a pretty good deal. It was like $40 less. Never could find that kind of deal anywhere. Only Costco's on blowout sales, or they want to, basically they have their product they sell in that space, and there's just a few more left in that space, and they kind of, it costs them money to have a whole entire space where they're not selling stuff. There's just three more left. And so it's like, it's a loss. So what they do is, like, they reduce the price from whatever it started off with. They start to reduce it. And so it'll start off at like 104, then they reduce it to like 90, and then it goes down to like 80, and then 70 and 60, and then until it's like $5. And that's actually how much I paid for my rain jacket. $5. Started off at 20. Or I think actually 25 or 27 actually. And then so yeah, I paid $5 for it. And then all of them were like $5 in this whole entire just like a whole bunch of them that were just there. And so yeah, that was last year rainy season, towards the end, or towards the summer, the starting of this summer. And so yeah, now it's rainy season, and I have two rain jackets. Really good deal. So yeah, that's my review for Leatherman.